Good afternoon and welcome to Mallow for the Dr. Harty Cup final. Third time lucky, we hope, today, after Storm Dennis and Storm George did their worst in recent weeks.
It's Harty.
Anthony Daly, linguist and former Clare and Flannans hurler, alongside me here this afternoon. Dalo, as I said, third time of asking here this afternoon. The pitch looking in remarkable condition, and indeed the conditions in general looking excellent.
Yeah, Colm, in fairness to Mallow G, and the way they've turned out the pitch, I know there was a couple of ladies football games played here during the week, and even the surface looks good from here. We've had a lot of rain though, you can expect it'll be difficult to see the ball happen, but from watching the teams in the warm-up, reasonable conditions, wind kind of blown away from the town end, if you like, here, so that might be a factor, but nothing like what it was going to be 2 weeks ago. And obviously yesterday you could not have played a game either, so the right decision. I know it does put a bit of pressure on the overall All-Ireland Colleges competition, with fixtures and with lads doing exams all along, but look, we're looking forward to a great hour's entertainment here, and hopefully the two teams capable of serving up a cracker. CBC appearing in the second final, back-to-back finals, and Flannans not in a final since 2007 and not champions since 2005, which is a famine from a Flannans point of view. We don't often get to say that about Clare teams of any sort, but certainly with St. Flannans 21 titles, obviously there'd have been an awful lot of those teams. I think bar one that would have been with outside lads between borders, Tip, Limerick, Galway, Kerry lads even, but this all Clare team really, a great achievement to be here, and it will be a great achievement for them to go all the way. Obviously the CBC boys thinking the very same thing, with a massive rugby tradition in that school, and new ground for them over the last few years, and really doing well at it.
Okay, just mentioned there, Anthony, talking about a great hour's hurling ahead of us. We could actually have a bit more than that. I was talking to the Munster Council officials earlier. Result will have to be on the day, and if it requires penalties, it requires penalties, because the two teams will be out within the next week in the All-Ireland quarterfinals of the Cork Cup competition. We're going to take a look at the teams now. We're going to bring up the CBC team up onto our screen now. Just one change on that team. Dennis McSweeney from Blarney coming in for Owen O'Leary of Glen Rovers. It's a nice selection headache to have. Cork Minor coming in.
Yeah.
Dennis, who was out with a broken finger, missed the semi-final win over Middleton, but will be starting at wing forward. Yeah,
and I suppose, look, Colm, in that respect, I suppose the extra couple of weeks was no harm for CBC, because Dennis being a Cork Minor, a vital member of the team, I suppose, so for them it's a no-brainer now. He's 100% fit. 4 survivors from last year's final, which isn't a huge carryover, but that will happen, especially when the competition's gone to under 19. Now it was basically, back in my day, straight under 18, so minors were minors, and now it's different with minor being under 17 as well. You could be a county minor at under 17, but you could also be marking a county minor of 2 years ago, which is the case in lots of ways. But look, obviously Carrock Daly, Gerard Mulcahy, nephew of the great Tomas, Niall Hartnett from Douglas, and Jack Callan won 8 in the semi-final. They're the 4 survivors from last year. They'll be looking to those guys to lead the way. Solid, even team is what I believe. Haven't seen them live yet. Very impressive against Middleton from anyone I was talking to, especially Mark Landers at the game was able to give me a good account of it, and so they'll be hoping, when you're in the final last year and you lose it narrowly, you'll be hoping to go one better the following year. And obviously huge work done by Tony Wall and his backroom staff down there, and they're getting the returns.
Cahalane, the star man, as we mentioned in the semi-final, scoring 1-8 against Middleton, including that wonder goal in the last couple of minutes that turned the game. Is it concerning that there's huge pressure being placed on young shoulders?
Sure it is, but I mean, no more than since Fado since I played in one of these. I never felt as much pressure in my life. Croke Park All-Ireland Day was an easy day compared to the Harty Cup final with all your peers in school, and you just had a massissive follow-on, and I think even there might be a delay to the throw-in here. Is there
just been told, a 10-minute delay? I presume it's on the basis of the traffic.
Yeah, but this is a National League Sunday as well, and huge around the country, make or break National League games. But obviously the Harty Cup, savage prestige of its own, and that's adding to a little bit of pressure with the lads. And sure, what have they gone through over the last 2 weeks as well? With when will it be on? It's on fixed for the Saturday, another storm, and so it is a big day. And it is a big day for Jack Cahalane. But look, at the pedigree is very good there.
Yes, indeed.
He'll get plenty good advice from home for sure.
And again, having played in an All-Ireland minor football final, winning that dramatic All-Ireland minor football final last year as well. We're going to pull up the St. Flannans team onto our screens now. No changes on a couple of Clare Castle lads inside there, Dalo, to keep an added bit of an interest for you.
Yeah, it's great. We didn't have 6 guys on a panel since the Clare team in the 90s, I don't think, It's great to have the 3 lads, I suppose, backbone and the thing from goalie, full-back and centre-back. Now, whether they're playing those positions is another day's work. Be a lot of talk that Jarlath Collins would be the main man marker, listed at midfield, number 9, that he would go back and man mark Jack Cahalane. So, and that would free up Dara Healy, who'd probably be a more natural maybe wing back midfielder that would release him out, and then obviously Cian Galvin is maybe their main man at centre back. And
just all the talk with CBC is Jack Cahalane. Cian Galvin though is the quarterback of this operation.
Yeah, he's a great lad, plays at centre back, likes to sit in the pocket, also likes to come forward, Colm, and get up there and get a few scores in every game. Against Templemore, the long range frees weren't going so good for him early in the game, and it looked like it might be costly, but down the stretch he nailed a couple of massive ones. And that's the one thing with Cian, there's massive character in him, But they have a few great players around. Obviously Diarmuid Cahill has been the main man up front, won't play the traditional edge of the square 14 role, will come to centre forward, with Killian O'Connor probably going to midfield to cover for Jarlath Collins, and Colm Cassidy going to the wing, and they play 2 inside in. Peter Power definitely the man that's left inside. Young player but very skillful. And Conor Hegarty, I suppose, is the other real talking guy midfield, but he gets licence to come forward, has ferocious pace and ferocious skill, and has come up with big scores in the quarter-final and semi-final for them.
This lad at wing back, Tony Butler from St. Joseph's Durabearfield. A lot of talk in advance of the game about the challenge he was facing, because an extremely talented rugby player as well.
Yeah, superb. Come from a great rugby background as well, the Butlers. His father Kenneth would be a great rugby man, but also that I would have gone to school with his uncle Tony, namesake, and very talented at every sport they played, really, all of them. But Tony has gone down kind of the route of the rugby, if you like, in terms of developmental squads with Munster and that kind of thing, and he has really gone into a fair size of a man now. From when I saw him in an under-16 county final between Durabearfield and Clarecastle a couple of years ago, he was a will-o'-the-wisp kind of midfielder, but now he's a real strong, powerful, typical of the modern kind of rugby guy. So don't know, the future probably is a rugby route for Tony, but definitely for today it's about winning the Harty Cup for this lad.
Right, teams are gone in off the field due to the delay, 10-minute hold up here. I'm presuming it's because of the big crowds coming into the facility here in Mallow. Just to mention though very quickly, one impact of the change of time on this, not so much felt on the starting teams, but on the sidelines.
Yeah, obviously, that's really relevant. If it's played yesterday, we would definitely have 3. We had 2 All-Stars for sure in Tony Kelly and Shemi Harnedy, and Jack Brown for me should have been an All-Star possibly last year, the year before. It's superb for Clare. But they interesting on the opposite side to where the mentors would be, where Brendan Bugler would be, I suppose, and his backroom staff. On the opposite side, Doon Water and Hurley's, you'd have Jack Brown and Tony Kelly, which is a fair sideline. But obviously Shemi Harnedy is central to everything with CBC and would be coach to the team. So unfortunately for them, that's a huge loss, because he's up in Galway obviously trying to secure 2 massive league points for Cork to stay in the hunt for the National Hurling League, so he just can't be here. Obviously Davy has given Brendan Bugler the day off, probably a bit confident of taking Carlo at home, so he can do without Brendan for the day, because Brendan will be with these guys since their first years in Flannans, and I think he'd be like an extra man missing for them if he wasn't here, so he's here. And but yeah, it's a gas. Even today Flannans played Tulla in the quarter-final just to see the sidelines that day. Terence Fahey, who I would have hurled it myself with Clare in my latter years of Clare, Terence had been coming onto the scene, and Aidan Hart was the coach for Tulla community school on the day, and it's gas. The level of quality on the sidelines is incredible these days.
Okay, I see referee John O'Halloran is out undertaking his warm-up. His mentors are alongside him. And just interesting as he's running across the field, there's no bit of a splash or anything like that. Pitch looks to be in top condition.
Yeah, there's no surface water at all that we can see. A little bit around the 45s. And they have a little bit of Astro column up on the scoreboard end on the 14 and at 21 as well, and on the goal mouth as well. So that's just an interesting little thing. You might get the odd ferocious hop up and that. John O'Halloran, I think, made a very sensible call the last day he was here. We met him down the tunnel about 11 o'clock. He said, look, I just have to walk it and things like that. And look, the wind was everywhere 2 weeks ago. And you knew by his demeanour he wasn't going to risk, the health and welfare of these great young players we have here, the future of our game, and a good call by him, and I wish him the best of luck. There's been too much talk about refereeing over the last few weeks. I hope John has a great game today. No doubt he has. I saw him, I think he did the quarter-final that Flannans were involved with in Tulla, and he made a great job of it, in fairness, in Ennis that day. And that was a pressure game with two Clare schools, huge crowd, big rivalry, and he made a great job of it there, very, very balanced and very measured in his approach.
Just in relation, Anthony, to that point, refereeing the National League, have you ever seen it under the spotlight as much? I like the argument I would make. Is it a case that refereeing and playing is as it is, but the fact nowadays we've got so many different camera angles, we've got so much analysis, a small incident that would have been missed in the blink of an eye 5 years ago is now in ultra HD television and reviewed from 4 or 5 different positions.
100% look at it, and look at there is, like, by the time, look, Colm, I go back to last year's All-Ireland semi-final, and I was on the Sunday game, I think the nighttime show, so we were under a bit of pressure to get out of Croke Park and get back to studios and that. And by the time we were leaving, they had picked up on the little touch from the sideline ball from Darragh Donovan off Killian Buckley's hurley. So, I mean, it's very hard on the naked eye at the time. We all accept that. I think it's just the overall sentiment about letting our game flow that little bit, if it's a blatant free and it's stopping the play, but if a fella is maybe fouled and he can still win the ball and come away with the ball and set up his own team and plays to continue, I think that's what we want to see. And I've no doubt, the two referees under the spotlight last week, Johnny Murphy and Sean Cleere, that they would want it refereed. Sean Cleere is a referee in Kilkenny. We all know how famous the Kilkenny training matches are meant to be. And you probably won't get away with refereeing the Kilkenny Club Championship and go on to be a top panel referee in Kilkenny unless you referee in that kind of spirit. And from what I've known of Johnny Murphy, back from my involvement with Limerick Underage, Johnny would want the game to flow. He was a good Harty footballer in his day, and hurler at club level, county footballer obviously, and so look, we're wondering what scrutiny these lads are being put under. So hopefully, that as I said, the championship was never seemingly refereed like that though, Colm, but there's a bit of an old thing for this every year of we're clamping down on the hand pass this year, we're clamping down on steps, and
it is during the league because these referees are trying to make the championship panel and they are ticking the boxes that they're told to tick. I know,
and then they're scrutinised by fellas like myself and fellas writing articles and all social media. Now sure, everyone can have their say, and it's hard on them because they get probably maybe they're dropped a little bit in some ways and drop back in the pecking order, and so that's the chicken and egg thing. Like, do you let these guys ref it as they see it, or do you put a whole pile of constrictions on them early in the year that you wouldn't put on them if they were doing a July quarter-final, and then you wind up with this scenario where these guys don't make the progress they should make, and they are good referees in general. So it's chicken and egg for me, and it's wrong, and it should be let flow and get. We have a great product at the moment, Colm. We never had it as good. People are voting with their feet. The viewership figures for hurling games are never as high. Why are we trying to change it and tamper with it? Maybe there is a little bit of cynicism has crept in as regards a fella, and maybe we can do something with that.
Was it not always there though, Dalo?
I think it was always there, Colm, in fairness. No, look, I'd say it's more prominent now, in fairness, that this defend the D and don't let them in for a goal because there'll be such a big score. But look, could we tinker with it a small bit about a fella being on a certain amount of fouls or something like, but I don't think a black card was called for. A lot of talk about giving the penalty if it is inside. Maybe I would have suggested myself maybe a 2-point free might have been something we'd look at. Maybe let the guy who's fouled take that free to add a bit of intrigue to that and up everybody's skills levels and as regards being able to take frees and that kind of thing. But there isn't a massive amount wrong.
But back when you were playing, Anthony, was there ever a situation where you had to pull a man down?
Definitely. I mean, I probably got grief way back in 1997. DJ Carey got the run on me, and fellas would have said I couldn't catch him in an All-Ireland semi-final. But I kind of half stayed with him, and I thought I was going to get the hooky money. He was that skillful. And Brian Lohan came out from full-back and definitely could have taken him down. We trusted one of us might hook, one of us might block, or Davey might save it. But typical DJ, it was one of the greatest goals. There was no backswing, and he still buried it in the top corner of the net. Could we have taken him down and three of us in the goal for the penalty and fancy our chances because we saved one from him earlier in the game? Maybe it wasn't as prominent then, but yeah, definitely now with a lot of teams playing a man back and systems where there's midfielders dropping deep. Not every team is playing a sweeper. Obviously, Wexford blatantly play Kevin Nolan back now at the moment, but he also gets forward. But a lot of teams are playing very deep wing forwards now and midfielders dropping deep. So there is that tendency, don't concede the goal because it's seen as a big score.
Yeah.
And Kilkenny, of course, when they were going so well, were the masters at getting those goals, getting them early. So teams started maybe trying to get wise to that.
What about the suggestion floating around of a two-man operation, two referees, half each?
I don't think, I thought TJ on the podcast was superb last Monday morning, as was Mark. It was one of our better podcasts, and that, it was a topical sort of a weekend, and it was easy we could have stayed talking for 2 hours nearly. But TJ's point that we have two qualified referees as linesmen, and they're not involved enough,
I think that, the statistic, the amount of balls that go out for sidelines in matches now is it something like less than 10 balls?
Oh, sure, look, there's no advantage. I'd be trying to coach our underage team there now with Clarecastle involved on 21s and saying, lads, there's no real advantage in tipping the ball out over the sideline and getting a round of applause, force him wide, let him carry it over the sideline. So these are qualified, top-class guys, and you'll be on the sideline there with an inter-county team that say, I can't call it. They'll say to you straight away, so... why can't they call it? If they see something happening, trying to watch the football game last night even, it was very hard for the referee to referee that game in Tyrone last night, get away from tunnel incidents and stuff like that, because conditions were so bad. And we have two guys there, they should be in the field more often for me, and call those situations. If they see something, contact the referee and call it. No, I'm still not in favour of stopping up everything all day long. Let it be done with a bit of common sense, a bit of goodwill, a bit of wanting the game to flow and hurling at its best for us, and we'd be all delighted with that, I think.
Okay, but again, do you think it's all feeding into the thing that there's more analysis now, that analysis that in terms it leads to more pressure on the referees, etc. It's as you said, the chicken and egg.
Yeah, I do think there is an element to that. I also think there's an element of, if something is brought in football, why isn't it being brought in hurling as well? No, we're
to Mallow, and the rain starting to spill down a bit as well too here in the Cork venue. As we said, the pitch is in fantastic condition. I'm going to very quickly run through the teams for you. We'll start with CBC. Owen O'Neill of Blarney is in goals. It's Gavin Reddy of Middleton, Shane Kingston of Ballinora, and Owen Downey of Glen Rovers, the full back line. Piers Cummins of St. Coleman's is wearing number 5. Corrock Daly of Lismore in Waterford is at centre back, and Garrod Mulcahy, Glen Rovers, nephew of Tomas, is at the left wing back position. James Dwyer of Ballincollig and Owen Kidney of Cove at midfield. The half forward line is Owen Kirby of Blarney, Niall Hartnett of Douglas, and Dennis McSweeney of Blarney in for Owen O'Leary of Glen Rovers. The full forward line then, the vice captain Robbie Cotter, who's vice captain alongside Niall Hartnett. Jack Callan of St. Finbarrs is at full forward, and Dara Burke of Douglas will be wearing number 15. We'll take a look now at the St. Flannans team. In goals, it's Cian Broderick of Clarecastle, one of a host of Clarecastle men that Dela will be cheering on this afternoon. A full back line, Niall Walsh of the Banner, Dara Healy of Clarecastle is at full back, and Matthew Reedy of Ballyea wearing number 4. A half back line wearing number 5 is Tony Butler, St. Joseph's Dura Bearfield. Cian Galvin of Clarecastle is the joint captain, will be centre back, and Stephen Casey of Ballyea is in the left wing back position. Midfield then, Conor Hegarty, joint captain with Cian of Ina Kilnamona, and alongside him is Éire Oaks Jarlath Collins, who will be wearing number 9. Onto the half forward line now, it's Ashley Browan of Ruan, and he will be wearing number 10. Colm Cassidy Clooney Quinn is at centre forward, and Killian O'Connor of Corrafin is wearing number 12. Peter Power of Newmarket on Fergus is in the right corner forward position. Diarmuid Cahill, who scored that wonder goal against Tulla in Cusack Park in their quarter final, is at full forward, and that leaves the man wearing number 15 in the corner forward position is Oisin O'Donnell from Crusheen. Brendan Bugler of Whitegate and of Clare and Wexford fame is the manager, and his backroom team including Mike Kelly, Kevin O'Grady, Shane McCarthy, Peter Casey, and as Dalo pointed out a little earlier, James O'Connor drafted in for the afternoon.
He's normally in charge of crowd control.
And the management team for CBC, Tony Wall, Treylock Martin, Darrow O'Callaghan, and Ken O'Halloran I think is in there as well. Seamus Harnedy though of St. Ita's not here this afternoon because he's got a more pressing engagement up in Salthill in Pearse Stadium, where Galway are hosting Cork in the Allianz National Hurling League. So the teams completing their half lap of the field. They'll be falling into formation now, and we'll be preparing then for the national anthem. And as Dale pointed out a little earlier this afternoon, it's St. Flannans who are chasing their 22nd Harty Cup title, and for CBC contested their first final last year and still waiting for that first title.
Yeah,
All
I think significant, Colum, as well, that Flannans won the toss and elected to play into the wind, so interesting to see what way that pans out.
We stand for our on the vein. I think you're picking up by the noise there the attendance that's here in Mallow this afternoon. Our match coverage this afternoon being brought to you courtesy of the Munster Council, being live streamed on the Irish Examiner's Facebook page and on Examiner Sport. If you are watching around the world, please do get in touch, leave us a comment, a message. We're going to try and get to as many as possible in the course of the afternoon, and we're looking forward to an enthralling afternoon of top class hurling here in Mallow between these two sides. One, the Aristocrats, chasing a 22nd title in the competition, and the other contesting their only their second final at this grade. A few positional switches already in play. I can see that Stephen Casey of Flannans is in position there for the throw-in, and we're off and underway in this, the 2020 delayed Dr. Harty Cup final between CBC of Cork and St. Flannans of Ennis, and it's Diarmuid Cahill that's taking the blow there to the chest, and a free end being awarded. Cahill, as Dale pointed out, isn't your traditional edge of the square full forward, out around midfield for that one, and it's going to give an opportunity to Cian Galvin for the opening free of the afternoon, and this is going to fair tester into quite a strong wind here this afternoon. So very smartly opts to go short on that occasion into his corner forward. Oisin O'Donnell, Oisin holding it up and finding a man outside him. That man is Conor Hegarty, and Hegarty's shot off the post, and gratefully received by the goalkeeper Owen O'Neill, and that'll just give you an indication of the strength of the wind that's there already, Dalo.
Yeah, great move by Flannans. Quick thinking by Cian Galvin to Oisin O'Donnell, who popped outside to Conor Hegarty. The wind held it up, but maybe that's a little flaw in the Flannans system. And there's nobody there when that ball came off the post. You know, Peter Power is isolated in there. It works, fair enough, they can keep it tight. They should score from distance in the second half, but that was possibly a goal opportunity with the distance it came off the post, if you know what I'm saying. Interestingly, Jarlath Collins gone straight back to pick up Cahalane, so that was one we predicted.
That was the one you predicted, all right. It's Flannans desperately trying to furrow a way through in these opening exchanges. CBC haven't managed to get the ball outside their half just yet. Jack Cahalane is the man though that's going to try and make something happen, and using the wind to his advantage there, getting it right down into the far end of the field. And here comes CBC with their corner forward there. Darrell Burke opts to go right across, and that one is finished in the end. Looked to be the other corner forward, Robbie Cotter, that eventually popped it over. It was Cotter from Blackrock, vice captain of the side, and obviously route one is going to be the route of option for the team that has the win.
Yes, Cahalane very deep and bringing Jarlath Collins out the field. Dara Healy was out in front but left it behind him, and the two corner forwards combined, and a lovely finish by Cotter.
Okay, it's 1 point, the opening score of the game, to Robbie Cotter. Bit of traffic here in front of us. A man keeping the ball in play there is the substitute, Dennis McSweeney. Great call, and touched out in the end by centre forward Niall Hartnett, and that's going to be a line ball in front of us to St. Flannans.
Yeah, Cullinan, already the indications that John O'Halloran is going to let it go. You know, I mean, that was a kind of maybe a call for a free from the Flannans bench there, but he said play on, get on with it, and you know, that's, if we're in for that sort of thing, once it's nothing wild or anything like that, I think we're in for a great hour's entertainment.
Yes, indeed. 2.5 minutes elapsed here. CBC leading by that 1 point to no score. Nice sideline effort there from Galvin, trying to find a man down there. Eventually that's picking it up is the full forward, Cahill. Opts to go short as far as Ashley Browan. Back to Cahill. Nice interplay with him, and into centre forward Cassidy, who in turn knocks it out to Killian O'Connor. Push to the ground, the chop, and it's going to be a free in right bang on the 45-yard line, and Cian Galvin going to make the trek up for this one.
Yeah, and should be within his range, even though with this wind you're not sure, but great work by Diarmuid Cahill there, and Oisin O'Donnell and Ashley Brohan combined, and you know, Diarmuid, although from Corofin, Ashley from Rowan, but they'd played together, amalgamated to win the Wine Championship last year, and you know, two very good forwards, especially Oisin Cahill. I think Gavin Reddy is from Middleton been given the job to track Cahill everywhere he goes.
Was that just down to fewer numbers that they amalgamated, Dalo?
Yeah, I suppose that's a reality for an awful lot of clubs at this stage. You know, you see Cian popping over that one. He'd be glad of that one there. A nice one to start, you know, central and
good
up around the 45. Well, yeah, that's a lot of the case. You know, clubs just, they'd be competing maybe at C level or B level on their own. So to go up A amalgamated is good for the lads, exposes them, and they were a superb minor team last year.
Okay, Owen O'Neill from Blarney, big powerful puck out for him, under 16 star. But finds only Conor Hegarty, who's sitting back in the pocket out as far as Cian Galvin. This man is some talent already, as we're seeing. On that occasion, though, the delivery not what he would have expected, and it's cut out, and it's Dennis McSweeney working it back to his cornerback, Gavin Reddy. Reddy's delivery, though, going past Owen Kidney, and it's taken up by Tony Butler. Out to Oisin O'Donnell. O'Donnell brought to ground though. Bit of slip sliding, all right, going on. But McSweeney back on the ball again. He's had a number of touches in the opening few minutes. Flannan's kind of trying to crowd out the area as much as they can. And it's Butler now who's launching it down in towards his wing forward position, and that's Killian O'Connor. Trying to squirrel it out here, and it's taken out on the left-hand side. Shot gets away, and that's a fine score in the end by Peter Power from Newmarket and Fergus. Looked like the breeze had held the ball up there for a second.
It did, but a good strike, very good striker, Peter Power, very skillful player. Great ball by Tony Butler. There was nobody really inside, and Power had a few around him, so he went cross field where Killian O'Connor was forced onto the ball, won a real dirty ball and popped it off to Power. Great score into the win for Flannans.
Hartnett getting a touch on the ball. Did he knock it out over the sideline? Looked like he did, and it's going to be a sideline there to St. Flannans on the far side, and that's a very short stroll there for Cian Galvin. But you can see already that Owen O'Neill's main target is Niall Hartnett. He's a giant of a man from Douglas.
Massive man, but interesting that they're leaving Conor Hegarty back in the pocket today, Flannans, and letting Galvin be more expensive and go up the field more. So that's a change from what's been played all year, maybe just to throw off the CBC boys for a while even.
Okay, well, the plan has, or the sideline has come to naught as the ball ends out back out over the sideline about 25 yards down, and it's Gerard Mulcahy that'll be tasked. The smoke bombs which are part and parcel of CBC games, whether it's Senior Cup Rugby or Junior Cup Rugby or Harty Cup, already going off here in the distance. You'll see the smoke in a minute as Niall Hartnett gets his shot off as he kind of half stumbles off the post. Second time we've seen the post coming in this afternoon. It's the point scorer from earlier, Robbie Cotter. Nice little jink by him. Looked like he fouled the ball. Referee waving play on. Effort from Pierce Cummins though from distance. Been held up by the wind. It's going to trickle. Oh, it looked for a second like it was going right across the line. But in the end, referee deemed that the player encroaching was the corner forward Robbie Cotter, and I think Jack Cahalan, and I think a free out being awarded. But look, for 1 second there to be dropping right across the line there for Flannans.
Yeah, dangerous ball for Cian Broderick into goal. I think the decision being by John O'Halloran that it was a square ball, basically. He was in there too soon. But danger, and the second ball off the post we've seen in the game so far. Certainly that CBC inside line looked really threatening. Both corners look threatening, and certainly Cahalan is threatening full.
Again, the ball missing Niall Hartnett on this occasion, and it's Flannans who are countering at speed. Great play there by their cornerback Matthew Reddy, and it's knocked down, and it's been taken back in again by the cornerback Gavin Reddy, and returned with interest, which should be all so easy here from the fullback Dara Healy, playing in that advanced role now out to Stephen Casey from Ballyea. Nice play by Casey. Ups to go kind of crossfield, but only waiting for it there was Pierce Cummins. It's a bit of a hospital pass by Cummins, but it falls perfectly for McSweeney, and McSweeney getting a free there. The Flannans player had come across with a bit of a chop tackle, and John O'Halloran giving the free out, but McSweeney won't be too thankful for the pass that was setting that in motion.
Pierce Cummins has started very well at 5, but that was a little bit of a loose one there, but that's good refereeing there now, because look, he had knocked the ball on too far. There was no advantage from the slap down, and you go back and give the free.
Cahalan all the way back out for this one. He has a massive strike of a ball. Don't know though if this one just beyond halfway is within his range, even with the huge wind behind him, but he's going to give it one bit of a wallop anyway. Had the distance but not the accuracy, and that leaves it as CBC 1 point, St. Flannans 2 points, with just on 9 minutes elapsed.
And that's the way it is blown, Colm. It's blown right over towards the scoreboard. It is favouring CBC, but at the same time there's a pull to the right hand side, and that's exactly what we saw with that free. Not as dramatic as we saw last night in Oma. Haven't to allow for it, but you will have to allow for it after a while.
As Dean Rock's effort last night is one that'll definitely get into the video vault. Here comes Cian Galvin. Still Galvin. Oh, great block down on Galvin, and that was Conor Hegarty, my apologies. Out it comes here in front of us here in the stand, taken up by the wing back there, Stephen Casey. It's another chop down, and it's going to be a free in. Another piece of good refereeing by our Limerick official John O'Halloran, and this time it's Cian Galvin, not Conor Hegarty. I was giving the award to a little earlier. Here comes Cian. Opts to go right across the field in towards his corner forward. Plenty of height on that one there from his wing forward, and that was a fine score there from Cillian O'Connor from Corrafin. Great ball by Galvin.
Yeah, definitely a trend emerging there though, that Cillian O'Connor is the go-to guy with the crossfield ball. That's the second time, and instead of laying it off that time, he took on the responsibility, and that's a great score from the Corrafin man.
And it's pushed Flannans out to a 3-1 lead. But again, just to mention, there is that extremely strong breeze here this afternoon, and we'll see how much of a factor that's going to be in the course of the afternoon. Cahalan guilty of fouling Jarlath Collins there.
Yeah, and that's 2 frees. Jarlath Collins has just one off Cahalan, so it's interesting. I think if I was CBC, I'd be looking at pushing in Cahalan right in, and make Jarlath Collins defend as a fullback rather than where he's at most of the time. He's out right half back, and it suits him because that's where he likes to hurl.
Cian Galvin again with the long delivery down, finds its way to Oisin O'Donnell. Flannans opting to work it back. Shot then from distance there by the wing back. On this occasion, that was an incredible score. I think it was Tony Butler that had the effort in the end.
we're glad he's not gone playing rugby after that one anyway. That's a massive score.
I think even caught by surprise himself on that one.
You could see the strength that he's gone to. He really has a massive chest on him now, and a lot of gym work, and that helped there. I tell you, in the execution of that one, because that was a huge shot.
Massive drop. Cahalan trying to get under it. Ball bounces off his hand, but he still manages to regain possession. Cahalan there from about 45 yards out. That is a phenomenal strike. That is a phenomenal score.
That's a brilliant score. That's a brilliant score by Jack Cahalan, because I thought maybe initially there was a little foul on him when the high ball was dropping as well, but he didn't moan about that. He got on with it and was there for the break. Won his own ball off the break, travelled with it, and a great score off his left.
It's a 2-point game now. It's 4 points to 2. It's Flannans who lead, and it's Flannans who are in possession. Ball coming back out as far as Tony Butler there. Butler opts to go back, a bit of a high one there towards, and it's found its way now to Diarmaid Cahill. Still Cahill off, close to Colm Cassidy. Cassidy, lovely jink. Cassidy ball, into goal, what a goal, back to goal. Diarmaid Cahill sticks it into the back of the net. Start of the move, nice jink to Colm Cassidy. Cassidy fires it back to Cahill. Looked like it had gone a bit too high for him. Somehow manages to pull it down, and from that range only one finish.
Brilliant score. Look at some people criticise the way Flannans play, but they're brilliant at this overlapping game, and 1-2 between Cassidy and O'Donnell. Back to O'Donnell, back to Cahill, and Cahill to finish inside. Brilliant team goal, if you like, and a goal for that style of play, carrying the ball, popping off the passes, has to be executed in difficult conditions, and a huge score into the wind.
And it's pushed it to 1-4 to 2 points, and as Dalo said, into the wind as well. What a game we have here in this Harty Cup, and here comes Flannan again. St. Flannan's the shot, but this time it's taken by the goalkeeper Owen O'Neill. Not full connection on it, and it's horsed all the way back down the field, and there's an injury to one of the CBC players here in front of us, and the mentors are voicing their annoyance there, and the officials are asking them to get back out. Cahalan it is, that's after taking a hefty blow. I don't know, is it he's...
And it's Collins as well, and in actual fact I thought the last time Collins fouled him, would you believe, and that time I didn't think. I thought he turned to get at the ball, and he did. Maybe he caught him with his hurley as he turned. The hurley made contact with the face guard, but I thought he was a bit unlucky that time. Whereas in actual fact, for Cahalan's brilliant score previously, I thought he was fouled. But I suppose what goes around comes around, and he gets his free. I think the linesman sensibly saying it wasn't anything malicious. He's got his free, but there's no yellow cards or anything like that. But chance for him now, to get a vital score for CBC at an early stage.
Well, I can see the officials on the sideline there remonstrating with the match officials. Already we've a smoke bomb that's out on the field, as you might pick it up there on the side of our camera angle there, and it's
Pierce Cummins doing his stewarding job there, going over, taking out the flare.
And anyway, the end result of it is a free to CBC and a free to Jack Cahalan, the man that was fouled about 55 yards out. Here comes Cahalan. Perfect connection, straight over the red spot, and that has brought it back to 3 points for CBC. 1-4 to St. Flannans, and it's definitely game on here as the intensity starting to rise. Dara Burke from Douglas, surrounded by 3 men. Oh, brilliantly taken up by Dara Healy. Super piece of skill by the fullback from Clarecastle. But it's back down the other field here. It's with the centre back here, Cork Daly, pumps it out in front of him. While all of that was going on, we've a man down on the ground. It looks to be Tony Butler is the man that's down, and the referee is calling aside the corner forward Dara Burke from CBC. Another bit of a melee developing here down in front of us on the left hand side, about 22-23 yards out.
We were following the play, Colm. It was a great looking run by Cork Daly up along the touchline here. Crowd right on top here, of course. Tensions are up, and the supporters from both schools singing and rising up the young lads. But off the ball, Dara Burke and Tony Butler became entangled, and John O'Halloran saw something. I didn't see it, to be honest, and he's talking to Dara Burke now. And Flannans have got a very valuable free and a yellow card.
Yellow card
for the young Cork
corner
man
forward, and Tony Butler bounced back up onto his feet after the treatment there. So it's a yellow card for Dara Burke, and it's a free out for St. Flannans. And as you said though, Cathaoirleach Daly, like that was a lovely piece, 2 brilliant pieces of skill from Dara Healy first of all, and then from Cathaoirleach Daly. The end result is a booming free there from Cian Galvin, working it all the way down. The man that's chasing after it is Cillian O'Connor, the go-to man down there. Cillian O'Connor off his right, and Cillian O'Connor with another fine score.
Yeah, well, Cillian O'Connor is really having the game of his life so far. You know, like game of his life might be stretching it. We know all about him. He's a great young talent, but he really is the go-to guy up front for Flannans so far. And every time Galvin gets a free, he's putting that slant on it to put it over to the left wing, and he's winning a lot of ball. And I'm sure the CBC management must be looking at that at the moment and contemplating a change.
CBC looking for a free there as they were claiming that the ball was being fouled. Great play though, and goal chance here. It's the corner forward Robbie Cotter. But the ball overruns, and Cian Broderick is alert to it and manages to clear his lines. And we're back with Tony Butler here. Butler recovered from his earlier exertion. Bit of a rugby star, as we said, and it's worked right across the field here, yet again in front of us. Who's going to get on it? It's Dear McCall is trying his hardest, but it's taken up by the cornerback down there, Owen Downey. Cleared out. Well taken though, yet again in the middle of the field by Conor Haggerty. Back to Cian Galvin, who eventually finds its way into Cahill, the full forward. The shot from distance though, catching the wind and trailing wide, but we won't be too hard on Cahill after his wonder goal all of 5 minutes ago.
No, very dangerous, and he is mixing it, playing outside and inside there. We saw the initial ball going in, and he was right inside alongside Peter Power, so I think they're working the central area as well. You know, Cian Galvin is really coming into the game. Oisin O'Donnell's come way out from corner forward and picking up a lot of ball. Just that wind took that ball again. You have to be really alone for that on that occasion, the right to left pull when you're shooting into that goal.
Yeah, a bit of a skirmish to try and get the ball out, but eventually it's a Flannans man that emerges with the ball. That man is their midfielder, Conor Haggerty. His effort though is trapped on about the 45-yard line and ends out as a sideline, and a sideline to CBC. No, the linesman looks to have changed his opinion in his mind. It looks like it's now going to be a line ball there to Flannans. And on this occasion it's going to be not Cian but Colm Cassidy from Clooney Quinn that's going to take it. And given the wind conditions, we wonder what sort of a ploy is in play. Pumping it in towards the full forward position, trying desperately to come up. Pulled on first time there by Oisin O'Donnell. Strikes a back, and it's cleared out with James Dwyer. Dwyer going across the field to McSweeney. Cork Minor broke his finger, missed the semi-final against Middleton, but has definitely been on the ball quite a lot today. And Dwyer unceremoniously pulled to ground. I think that would come under black card territory.
Yeah, probably would. Silly tackle by Colm Cassidy. Lucky to escape a yellow actually in that occasion. You know, it's a blatant pull back, and it does give Cahalane, although it's a long way out. I'm sure he'll have a cut at it anyway. He's come way back to take it.
Okay, well, we saw his effort a few minutes ago. Had the distance, not the accuracy. Will he have learned a bit from that and the wind trajectory? Here comes Cahalane. And that is, on any day, a fine score.
Yeah, obviously the first one, he didn't allow for enough, and he's learned from that. That's a good sign of a free taker. He's way out the field. Collins has gone with him. Interestingly, CBC have put Pierce Cummins across on Cillian O'Connor from. He was operating at left half back. He's gone across to his natural right half back now. O'Connor was just causing too many problems for CBC, and they have acted on that and obviously put maybe a stronger player over on him.
Conor Haggerty trying to get an action started, but it's kind of gone to ground here, and see who's going to manage to come out with it. And it looks to be Hartnett, the centre forward for CBC, who comes in to rescue the situation. Forced to go backwards, but there's a foul committed. It's going to be a free out to CBC. Goalkeeper Owen O'Neill was offering his services to come out, but Owen Downey, I think, is going to take this one. Our game today, the Harty Cup final, with thanks to the Munster Council, being broadcast live on the Irish Examiner's Facebook page. If you are watching around the world or anywhere in Cork, Clare, Ireland, beyond, we'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your viewpoints. your criticisms even, get in touch, and we'll get to a few of those as the game progresses. If you're a Clareman, you'll be enjoying the scenes anyway this afternoon. Ashley Brohan there. And well done by Cahill, who managed to reclaim it, but in the end it's taken up by Cathaoirleach Daly, a man from Lismore. Super operator, his brother Earlet, of course, playing last year, has progressed on to the Waterford senior team in action this weekend against Tipperary in the Allianz National League. Here comes CBC again, big foot race, and that foot race looks to have been won by a CBC man. And a brilliant hook there on the corner forward, Dara Burke, as he was winding up, gets it back out as far as Robbie Cotter. Cotter swallowed up by 1, 2, 3 Flannans men. One of those coming away is Stephen Casey. Casey out as far as his midfielder. That's the man, Conor Hagerty, in the green helmet. Back to Tony Butler. Butler scoops it across the field. Taken up there, coming down the middle channel was Cillian O'Connor. Still O'Connor. Nice jink. Still O'Connor. O'Connor from 45 yards line. Oh, that's a great score by Cillian O'Connor. That's a wonderful score by Cillian O'Connor.
Oh yeah, and like in the first half alone, he's man of the match territory for sure. Cullum, but you know, fantastic. This is what this Flannans team are all about. Swarm tackling there, getting in the hook on Dara Burke, the block on Robbie Cotter, and then breaking by sharp passing, and then the diagonal ball. And Cillian O'Connor certainly really on a going day today.
23 minutes elapsed, and it's 1-6 to 4 points, and it's Flannans who lead, and it's Flannans on. They love their football too in Clare, and we're getting to see Oisín O'Donnell from Crusheen showing his skills there after losing his hurley, but it's going to be a free out. 23 minutes elapsed in this Dr. Harty Cup final.
An awful lot of them would be dual players, Colum. They're very unlucky to lose to the same Killarney in the quarter-final, I think, of the Currnavera, so you know, might have been a relief to Brendan Bugler and that he had it full time, but I think they led that game one of the days of the big wins, and they led by something like 10 points and got reeled in and eventually beaten a point or two by, I suppose, one of the most, or the traditional school in colleges football in Munster.
Cian Galvin. Nice effort by him as far as his corner forward, Oisín O'Donnell, the aforementioned Oisín from Crusheen, having a pop from distance, but caught by the wind and easily taken by Owen O'Neill from Blarney. Powerful puck up by him, aiming towards Cahalane. Cahalane soars up but misses the ball, and well taken though by the Flannans defender. Finding it out as far as Conor Hagerty, but Hagerty's effort is caught up and blocked down and returned with interest. And it's the wing forward here, Owen Kirby. Kirby having a shot from distance and score from distance as well. It looked like it had trailed wide, but the umpires giving that one there to the wing forward. That's a great score from distance, and very much keeping CBC alive given the wind conditions. Cahalane doing manfully, trying to keep the ball in play. Shouted out and had gone out there. The linesman confirming what the St. Flannans mentor on that side of the field had called for, and that was a line ball to Flannans.
Great score by Owen Kirby, to be fair to him. Won his own ball out in front, kind of picked Machuridi's pocket, if you like, just last second ditched in, and I thought he might have shot a bit too quickly, but he didn't, and he had the accuracy, and it was a vital score. Keep him ticking over, because look, the wind is significant, but it still won't win you the game.
A bit silly there by Flannans, given the wind, trying to play their way out of trouble when they could have gone direct. In the end, though, it's come back out, and here comes their wing forward, corner forward, Oisín O'Donnell, out as far as his wing forward, a man wearing number 10. As he judged the wind, that man was Ashley Brohan. For a second it looked like it was on course, and then it jiggled and juggled, caught up in the wind, and that one is trailed out wide. But the far side there should have just let it go.
Yeah, like, look, they do. It was a good shooting opportunity, but just having learned, Dermot Cahill has had one from that side, and Ashley has had one as well now, so it is difficult to shoot into that side.
Okay, Niall Hartnett having the effort from distance, and that one trailing a couple of yards wide. You can obviously see the ball struggling a small bit on that occasion.
He's a huge Harty Cup player, Niall Hartnett, nephew of the great Pat, obviously, so I mean, there's some amount of breeding on show here from both sides.
And a bit of football as well too in the Douglas DNA as well too. His older brother, part of the Cork senior football squad as well. Back with the hurling action here, and back with the goal scorer, Cahill. Still Dermot Cahill holding it up 45, opts to go back to the man who fed him in the first place, Conor Hegarty. Hegarty looking so lively. Hegarty off his right. The goalkeeper is waving it wide, and so too is the umpire.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. John O'Halloran, who had probably the best view of that, though, is so convinced he's going straight in to check. And
no Hawkeye and Mallow, I'm afraid.
No, Conor Hegarty didn't protest too much, but Dermot Cahill certainly protested a nice bit.
John O'Halloran, the match referee from Limerick, having a few words there with his lines, or his umpires. And that one, we had a change of heart.
It's going to be put up, I think. They're huge moments, Colin, aren't they? It's a Harty Cup final, everything can be so tight. They're massive decisions, and he was bang on line with him, though, I'd have to say. He was right behind him as he struck it, and the wind would be pulling it naturally inside the post and outside, so we don't know from where we're sitting, but obviously John made the call.
Okay, and Conor Hegarty having the point there, and it's pushed it out to 1-7 to 5 points with 27 minutes elapsed in this Harty Cup final. It's had it all in the opening half here this afternoon. Cork Daly bursting out, looks to be a free end there. Yeah, there was an arm from Dermot Cahill around his neck, and that's going to be a free end, and I'd say Daly himself is going to take that one.
No, he'll bring out the full forward, I'd say, after the last one.
After the last one, yeah, sorry.
He's coming.
Everything
is vital here.
Exactly, especially after that score change there a few moments ago, and this one about 10 yards closer in for Jack Cahill, and his previous long-range effort, dead straight in front of the post. Currently the score stand is St. Flannans 1 goal and 7 points, CBC 5 points. Here comes Jack Cahill. Straight and true.
Yeah, he's a lovely striker of the ball, left hand on top, and really strikes through his ball very well, and he misjudged, as we said, one early on, but talk about learning from it, and Flannans can't afford to be giving away too many frees with him around.
4 points now between the sides in this Harty Cup final, being broadcast live on the Irish Examiner's website, Facebook Live this afternoon. If you're watching around the world, please do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on the standard and everything here this afternoon. Now, chance coming for, well, it looked to be Colm Cassidy that was running onto it. It's fallen back as far as Ashley Brohan has the runner off his shoulder. That man is Jarlath Collins with the effort. Collins, though, with the wide on this occasion. But again, great interplay by Flannans.
Yeah, Cahill again. He doesn't do anything else. Well, he does loads else, Colin, but his first thought is to run with the ball, and he causes ferocious problems. And again, he started that move, and just again, that's their third wide from this right wing here. Jack Collins just misjudging that shot completely in a very good position again. They're not easy positions, but it's still a good position for shooting.
Yeah, lovely offload again to Conor Hegarty, and Hegarty swallowing up the ground. 2 minutes of additional time coming. Hegarty with the shot from 45 yards out, and what a wonderful goal by Hegarty. Took the pop pass, ran 20 yards, calm as you like.
Second score in a row from Hegarty. What pace he has, popped in by Galvin. He just put on the jets from behind and was absolutely gone, and then to be able to get the strike in as well. What a skillful player.
A man that is full of skill is Jack Cahill, being blocked on that occasion. Followed through though on that one with a hefty shoulder to the player who was down collecting possession.
It's Cahill, I think, yeah.
And it looks like
he's the guy that comes deep. Certainly late anyway. I think he just he spilt the ball himself, and maybe instead of stopping up, he followed through, and he just caught Oisin Cahill fairly heavy, and I'm sure there's a yellow coming.
I think, to be fair to Jack, his momentum, he had already committed to chasing after the ball. Right. The Flannans man was literally going down on the ball, and it was an accidental as opposed to anything else.
And Oisin is up, and look at that sensible refereeing again. It was a yellow card, I suppose, but nothing more than that, and his momentum, as you said, did carry him through on top of Oisin.
Well, as we were talking about refereeing earlier today, all credit to John. Sensible.
So far so good in difficult conditions, to be fair, having an excellent game, I think.
Cian Galvin picking out his wing forward, Cillian O'Connor on that occasion. O'Connor back to corner forward, Peter Power. Comes to naught though, taken out by Pierce Cummins. First time ball by Cummins though is back to the other number 5, that's Tony Butler. Butler does so well. Look at that upper body strength to hold off the man, and working it across here to Keane, to his wing forward, corner forward, Oisín O'Donnell. Oisín working hard, but so too is the other corner forward, that's Dara Burke. Breaking out here in front of us with Cillian O'Connor, loses it though, and here comes Dara Burke now from Douglas. Burke being held up, looking back for an option to the other corner back, and that's Robbie Cotter, but in between, foul committed, and it's going to be a free in, and that's going to be another chance for Jack Cahalane to add to his tally and to narrow the gap. Currently it's a CBC 6 points, it's St. Flannans 1 goal and 8, so 11 points to 6, and this
should be easy for him, Colm, and very good work by Dara Burke. He picked up a yellow early on, but he hasn't been shying away from it since. Not worried about the second yellow anyway. He's getting stuck in, and he's the guy coming out deep to try and curb the Cian Galvin, Dara Healy influence there, coming through the middle, Tony Butler, these guys.
Okay. Oh, brilliant piece of fielding there from the puck out there in front of us by McSweeney. Opts to go short inside to the big midfielder, to James Dwyer. Dwyer running into traffic, and Dwyer receiving the free. There was an arm across the shoulder, and it's going to be another chance for Cahalane. This one though is going to test him a bit. It's out right on the sideline, and this surely is going to be the final action of this action-packed first half here this afternoon in Mallow of the Munster Post-Primary Schools Dr. Harty Cup.
Yeah, James Dwyer receiving a great ball from McSweeney, who's really come into the game as well, because he's also kind of abandoned that wing forward role now and gone to midfield, and James come through. Jack Collins kind of stood his ground in one way, but John deciding it's a free, so it's an important one.
Okay, there goes Cahalane. Has he judged the wind? He hasn't. It was only maybe a foot and a half in that one. You knew from the second that he struck it that it was going to struggle with the wind conditions. This surely will be the last action. A nice piece of handling skill by the match referee as well too. We saw that in the Leinster Championship game last year. It didn't go too well.
And unfortunately, that wasn't the referee, was the way for now. One Gregory Kennedy. Fair play. A good man to catch a ball, as I said that night on his day. But no, look, I mean, very, very entertaining first half in tough conditions. Game, Flannans would be delighted to be going in 4 points, having elected to play into the win, but at the same time, it's far from a done deal here. CBC have very, very threatening forwards, and Jack Cahalane just misjudging that one, and Flannans have misjudged as well. That breeze is dragging the ball over to the scoreboard side, the open stand side here in Mallow, and they'll just have to allow for both sides for that in the second half.
The big scorer of the game, Diarmaid McCahon's goal.
Yeah, fantastic goal. I think started by Oisín O'Donnell, who's been playing really lining out at 15 knees back, but is everywhere really out the field, and it was the one time Cillian O'Connor wasn't involved. It was Colm Cassidy and it was Diarmaid Cahill, and Cahill took it off O'Donnell, dart and run, one pop pass, took it back from Cassidy, got inside, no room to swing the stick really, but somehow managed to pull the trigger and give Eoin O'Neill very little chance in the goal, Colm, and that's the score that has separated the side so far.
Okay, Dalo, we're going to have to take a quick break there and get some coffee or something into you. It's a bit cold here in Mallow this afternoon. We're going to take a break from our Harty Cup coverage. Don't forget though, second half still to come live and exclusive here on the Irish Examiner's Facebook page, with thanks to the Munster Council. We'll also be looking through some of your comments and thoughts as well too in the second half of the game. So that's where we're going to leave it for a few minutes. We're going to be back in about 5-10 minutes for the second half of the action here. Please stay tuned for that. Well, welcome back to the second half of the action here. Just getting underway, and even before the ball is thrown in, things are already getting underway.
Yeah, well, I think Pierce Cummins has brought across to get a handle on Cillian O'Connor, and Cian Broderick is only just getting on his way past the 65, on his way down to the goal. So the two boys getting to know each other. Obviously, CBC has said, look, this guy is doing rack on us so far, so we got to get tight and get tougher on him. So Brendan Bugler out to tell his man to calm it down, and I'm sure he'll be happy if he comes up with 3 more points in play.
Exactly. A few people getting in touch as well, having an issue with our broadcast quality this afternoon. Issues beyond our control here. It's to do, unfortunately, with the broadband here in Mallow. and possibly the crowd that's here as well. It's impacting on our upload speed, so sincere apologies if the stream is breaking on you. We're doing our utmost to try and rectify that at the moment, and hopefully we will manage to get something, but as I said, unfortunately, situation not of our making this afternoon. Very quickly, as we're waiting for Jack Hallan to take this free, want to say hello to Dara Burkstad. Dara, of course, corner forward for CBC. His dad Owen is watching from Canada, and all the Burks, Crowleys and Parkers who are watching in London and in Switzerland this afternoon. Will they be cheering in 30 minutes time? Well, let's see what this man here can do to try and reel in the St. Flannans lead. An unerring accuracy yet again from Jack Hallan, and just less than a minute elapsed in the opening half, and we're now back to a 3-point game.
Yeah, great work by Dennis McSweeney in the middle of the field, straight from the throw-in to win the free, and Cahalane, maybe he missed one or two in the first half, but that's a vital score. Back to a one-score game, and as we said, this game is far from done at half-time, and I presume everybody in the Flannans dressing room was saying that as well.
Okay, Cian Galvin and his full-back working well together, and off we go again down that far side from the wing forward from Ashley Brohan, and Brohan now having the wind at his back and driving that one wide, and with the wind every one of these scores now.
The danger now for Flannans is they play a set game, move the ball, carry the ball, and if they start shooting from distance now and that wind has gotten a little bit stronger across the field, it will pull every shot towards the scoreboard, the open stand side.
Powerful puck out yet again by Owen O'Neill, and it's been found by McSweeney, who's certainly impressed this afternoon. Wasn't on the starting team. A late call-up for Owen O'Leary, Cork minor, recovered from those broken fingers, and I must say caught the eye in the course of the afternoon, and another free being won there, and another opportunity for Jack Hallan to nudge into that.
Great work by McSweeney, but silly free by Cian Galvin to give away. I mean, the sideline was his friend there. McSweeney was going away from goal, but he pulled the crossing from behind and late, and if you don't make contact with the ball, that's always going to be a free. So a chance for Cahalane to bring it back to 2.
Because Cahalane again, the man is absolutely on fire this afternoon, unerring. That bit of a miss earlier, but has recovered so much from it, and as you pointed out there, Pierce Cummins and Killian O'Connor getting to know each other. St. Flannans, from being in a position of authority in half-time, are nearly doing all in their power to undo it, and getting involved in a few little niggles off the ball as well.
Again, a correct call by John O'Halloran, and Tony Butler did overcarry the ball, but in fairness to likes of Niall Hartnett, it was the pressure he was put under. If he did throw it up to play it, it would have been flicked away from him. Went with the sharp puck out from Kim Broderick. He has a great long puck out, but that's the style of game they play. If you get over the winning line, it's great, Cullen, but you do leave teams in the match, and Cahalane now a chance to bring it back to a single score.
Cahalane a couple of inches inside the 65-yard line. Here he comes again. Catches that one to perfection.
Brilliant start to the second half by CBC. Complacent sort of start from Flannans, I have to say. CBC come right out, laying down the marker. Pierce Cummins maybe not too pretty what he did, but got the crowd behind him, and they've certainly responded in kind on the pitch.
Oh, well, we're in for a blistering second half of this Harty Cup if the opening few minutes are anything to go by on this occasion. CBC's hard work with James Dwyer undone, over carrying the ball, and Flannans desperately and definitely in need of a break in fortune there, anything to stop that CBC momentum.
Yeah, and I suppose you can't have it everywhere, Colm, and there's no doubt James Dwyer did overcarry a step or two, wasn't much in it. He kind of half slipped, which cost him the time factor, I suppose, and big free now for Cian Galvin to push it out to 2 if he can, because they just haven't functioned since we came out for the first 4.5 minutes, so this might steady the ship. Has to be going for the left post to draw it across.
Cian Galvin from Clarecastle, low trajectory, gets the score. A little fist pump there from Anthony Daly alongside me. That was, well, I know 4 minutes into the second half, and we're already saying that was a very important score.
I'd be very critical of the free he gave away, and he'd know I would be. I'd be telling him that if I had him tomorrow morning. But that's a ballsy one, Colm, when you go back to feel like that and stand up to a free like that in crosswind and that kind of thing, and things not going well, and he's great like that.
Bit unsightly there as the ball glued to the ground, eventually being brought up. Looked to be Max Sweeney that got it in as far as his corner forward, but it's been batted away there by the full back by Dara Healy, and it's coming out at pace here in front of us, and Tony Butler is the man that's going to offload it. Lovely crossfield effort towards Peter Power, the man from Newmarket and Fergus, who's chasing after it, but it's Shane Kingston, the full back, who's getting his body in the line there, and it's going to be a free out. Goalkeeper was coming out for it, but Owen Downey was telling him stay back, but I think Owen O'Neill has overruled him, and he's going to...
They usually do come onto the goalies when they fancy these ones. Great play by Shane Kingston there, because basically a foot race with Peter Power, and he just got himself across in front of him and drew the free, and relieving free for CBC. The
man from Blarney, Owen O'Neill, powerful puck out by him. Up went Keane Galvin in an effort to get to it, but it breaks down, and it's overlapped here. Look at the pace by Tony Butler there, getting onto it. Still Butler trying to get down on it, but well taken back up by CBC. Looked to have fouled it there. It was the wing back Pierce Cummins. Referee letting it off there with corner forward Dara Burke, who's dad watching in Canada this afternoon. Dara Burke in as far as his midfielder. James Dwyer goes to ground. Been brought out by the other midfielder, Tony Butler. Nice little 1-2 brought down to ground again, and it's out with the full forward there, Diarmuid Cahill, the goal scorer from the first half. Cahill fouled, and that's going to be a free there. Breathtaking, and we only have 6 minutes gone in the second half.
Huge second half here, Colm, and you couldn't get the intensity levels. I mean, this is up there with, there'll be National League games that people are at today, and they won't see the intensity here, the tackling, the hitting. Brilliant tough play from Diarmuid Cahill, one of the smallest guys in the field there. Got down over that ball when a belt was likely, held it and drew the free. And again, I said a massive relieving free. Whether Keane will feel he has the distance here, he's like a fella that's having a go anyway.
Well, Jack Cahalane had the distance from a very similar position in the first half. Let's see, can Keane Galvin match him? Doesn't seem to have gotten the same strike on it. Managed to creep over the crossbar. We had to wait there for a second. For 1 second it looked like it had dipped.
I thought from our angle it was definitely over the bar, because you could see it was clearly well inside the far over umpire's head, but there seemed to be total confusion, as there was in the first half, between the opposite end.
The umpire closest to it remained motionless for it. Nice bit of fielding out there by Max Sweeney off his left, but comes to naught. It's easily taken up by Flannans here in front of us. Cillian O'Connor, the man that has been starring so much in the first half. Effort from O'Connor, gone wide. Should he have taken it on?
He might have. He just might be allowing a bit more. Galvin is sitting in the pocket doing really well now since he got back there to his natural sort of role. Lovely ball up along the line. Cillian obviously been more tightly marked, but again that pull towards the scoreboard side.
Powerful puck out by the goalkeeper Owen O'Neill, well taken by the big man that is the joint captain Niall Hartnett from Douglas. Foul committed, and that only means one man. That's Jack Cahalane, and he's standing over the ball now.
Great catch by young player Niall Hartnett. Great battle with Stephen Casey, who's been picking him up. Casey, great first half. That's a massive catch by Hartnett there. It's not
he's
easy.
A giant of it. He's a massive man. 6'1", 6'2". There's Cahalane there. Has he judged the wind in this occasion? No. Just caught up there and taken on the line by Keane Galvin. Back here in front of us with Max Sweeney again. I must say, really impressed by this young man. He's only 17. On that occasion, the ball though taken by Matthew Reedy. Out to his Ashley Brohan, his wingman. Brohan's pass kind of managing to eventually find its way into Clare Castleman. That Clare Castleman is the midfielder wearing number 8, Conor Hegarty, with the shot going wide. Is there a policy, do you think, now with Flannans, once they get into that kind of 50-yard area, have a pop?
It's kind of natural, Colm. You can feel the wind at your back. You have a bit of space. Conor Hegarty, would be always a good man to take his score, and he's got quite a nice little tap in the head there that time. The ball was knocked down by Stephen Casey, but there's a little ticking, I think, for Max Sweeney, is it? Yeah. But it's a free now, and Galvin will be having another go at this, and if they could shove it back out to the half-time gap of 4 points, it'll be psychologically exactly. we're on the same wavelength there, Col. It'd be huge, because you'd be saying that, look, we weathered the storm now, can we kick on? But it's a tough free. Any presumptions.
It's a tough free. He's He's right on halfway, had the accuracy and the distance just from a free, maybe 5-6 yards farther out. And as you can see, there's a little sweet wrapper or something there on the pitch. It's just showing the way the wind is flickering and blowing across the field. Here comes Galvin. Doesn't seem to have connected again on this one, and it's gone wide. Didn't seem to back himself on that one.
Yeah, whether there was a way he didn't lift it properly, I'd say, Colm, or whether the wind slightly caught it as he lifted it and brought it back kind of a half a foot maybe, and then you're snatching, and when you're snatching you're in trouble, because Shane Kingston is really strong at full back. Really impressed with him. Hard job for Peter Power, because often he's isolated up there 2-on-1, maybe 3-on-1 at times.
Short puck out to Pierce Cummins, all on his own on the sideline. Cummins using the elements to his advantage. Great puck down by him. But it's taken up down here by the fullback Dara Healy. Oh, nice bit of play by him. On as far as Keane Galvin. Nice interplay with Cahill. Still Cahill, small man but a huge engine. Great ball in to Galvin. Still Galvin on the edge of the exclusion zone. That is a wonderful score by Keane Galvin and St. Flannans. What a passage of play from the fullback Dara Healy to Galvin. Galvin to Cahill. Cahill back to Galvin. And a wonderful, wonderful score.
Yeah, a point version of the goal, if you like, Colm, and significant, as we said, about the 4-point gap. Great play from Dara Healy, got his head up, played Galvin to Cahill. What a man with close control and running Cahill is, and Galvin followed on the run, and that's what Bugler would always encourage, and he's there on his shoulder. Brilliant finish off his left, and that's the point of the game. If we saw the goal of the game, which is the only goal, obviously, but that's a great score as well.
What was remarkable as well was Galvin had to reach for the ball but didn't break stride, managed to pull it back, as we saw in the goal movement as well. Yeah. It wasn't a simple ball into the breadbasket, as they say.
No, and we know there's a swirling wind, so great close control and great skill from these young players.
Absolutely incredible skill, and it's pushed it back out to a 4-point lead for the men from Ennis from St. Flannans College. It's out with CBC though now in front of us with their corner forward turning goalwards, and that's Robbie Cotter. Cotter judging the window perfectly, and Cotter putting it over the crossbar, and a vital score for him.
Yeah, Cotter's second score from play as well, I think, and set up by Dara Burke. Really impressed with Dara Burke since he came out from the corner. We did say he got a yellow, but he's well involved in everything good that CBC are doing, and they're definitely staying in the game. Very, very determined performance from them, and very, very much, as I said, determined is the right word, because they're not willing to let Flannans out of their sights.
A reminder again that we will have to have a result this afternoon, because these two teams will be out in action in the Crow Cup quarter-finals, and those games having to be played next weekend. The winners will be playing St. Kieran's College of Kilkenny, and the losers will be playing Presentation of Athenry. And as I said, those games have to be played next weekend to keep the sequence of the competition going. So if it is a case that we are level here at the full-time hour, we will be going to extra time and penalties if required thereafter. Anyway, still a good bit of hurling still to be played here this afternoon, and lovely piece of skill there by Jack Allan as he flicked it over the defender but was held back, and that's going to be a free in from Cahalane.
Well, you mentioned how good a footballer he was, Colm, and the man he's marking is actually a brilliant footballer as well. Jack Collins, nephew of Colm Collins, the Clare football manager, and but he sold him up there, didn't he? He just threw it over his head, and Jad didn't get his feet moving, and once he stood his ground and the ball was gone, John O'Halloran had no other option but to give the free in. And again, as we said, like CBC really showing huge determination. Not an easy free again at the angle, but this to bring it back to 2.
Here comes Cahalane as the wind, as I said, swirling off the post and just trickles out over the sideline. The look of disgust, or the end line should I say, the look of disgust there in Jack Cahalane's face. Even though he's 50 yards away from us, you can see he was so disappointed with that one there. Literally a game of inches on that occasion. The grey crowds in the background. Great piece of fielding there by the wing forward Killian O'Connor. The shot, has it gone? No, it's gone right and wide, but did all the hard bit there, soared up into the air. Substitute being warmed up for St. Flannans. That man is James Doherty. Another man from Clare Castle being warmed up We'll have a look as to see who's going to be coming off in a few moments' time. The Clare Castle contingent increasing here this afternoon. 11 points to 111. St. Flannans lead as we come up with 15 minutes of the second half. 45 minutes of this. The Munster Council Post-Primary Schools Dr. Harty Cup final this afternoon.
He's a great prospect, James Harty. He's only under 16. I know there's a few of the CBC boys that young as well, but he'd definitely be the youngest of the Flannans panel. And but a great lad, like, not afraid to put himself about for a small lad, and great future if he can keep it up, hopefully, and we can sort of nurture him hopefully at home.
Garrod Mulcahy with the sideline kept in place superbly down there. Looks to be Jack Cahalan. Still Cahalan has a runner inside him. Opts to go back out as far as Owen O'Leary. O'Leary back out onto the field. Was due to start this afternoon. Cahalan going right across the field. Keane Galvin though reading the intention. Breaks though to Hartnett. Still Hartnett. Hartnett trying to bat it and bats it wide. Calls for a penalty there, but referee waving those calls away. But Hartnett using his massive frame to punch his way through there. Colm Cassidy is the man, by the way, that's going to be making way there for the substitute.
Yeah, big goal chance for CBC there. King Galvin dropping the ball, read it very well. Ball across from Cahalan. Seemed to have it caught and under control. Dropped it. Hartnett was onto it like a flash. And they bottled him up all right, but he managed to get a bat on the ball, and it just went outside.
Kind of a Shamie Callan effort.
Yeah, it went just sort of Colin Fennelly would be more famous for those ones. A very intelligent thing for the forward to do always, but it just went outside Cian Broderick's post. Thankfully, from Flannan's point of view, anyway.
And we're back with the action on the 65-yard line, 45-yard line, and it's back with an effort from distance. It's been waved over the crossbar. Oisin O'Donnell from about 55 yards. He turned away, saluted the crowd. He knew it was on its way.
An absolutely brilliant strike from Oisin O'Donnell. I didn't think it was the right option, to be honest with you, because he was off the back foot, but he just got enough borrow on it and the wind did the rest, and a brilliant score, and again significant out to the 4-point zone again, Colin, which will be huge for Flannans at this stage.
Hartnett and Garrod Mulcahy endeavouring there to work together to get possession there, but there's a Flannans man down on the ground. Looks to be possibly Tony Butler, I think, with the red helmet over there, but there's going to be a few words from the match officials, and I'd say it's going to be a throw ball in the end between the two midfielders, between James Dwyer and Conor Hegarty. Still kind of getting down to ground again. Just to mention, the game being broadcast with thanks to the Munster Council this afternoon. Wherever you're watching in the world, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and hopefully our technical issues have now been resolved and our coverage and our feed are back on your computer, your laptop, your screen, whatever it might be. And again, apologies, the issues beyond our control here in Mallow this afternoon. Here comes CBC, nice little interplay between the goalkeeper and his full-back Shane Kingston, but superbly blocked down by Stephen Casey from Ballyea, out as far as Cillian O'Connor, and a free in again. Worked the score almost the way the fist pumping is going on. This lad, Cillian O'Connor, has been immense today, Dale.
Yeah, he wins the free, and he has had a great game. Couple of wides in the second half that he'd be disappointed with. Have to point out Stephen Casey as well, who's had the man marking role on Hartnett. That's some block there. Gets across. Pierce Cummins had taken it short from his keeper, and he made great ground, and Casey kind of abandoned ship and came out to meet him, and that's a fantastic. And it was the block that caused Cillian O'Connor to win possession to get the free. Chance for Galvin, long one again.
Here comes King Galvin, much better connection on it this time, not the accuracy though, and just trailing wide. Is there a plan B in terms of plans for the free taking duties?
No, they leave him at it, because that's the type of guy he is, it doesn't bother him. He's a good man to, as the fella says, erase the mistake and get on with it.
Yeah, Starman against Templemore, 6 points.
Absolutely, and he missed a few in the first half that day as well, but there's no, he won't let that bother him, and he, maybe you might be as well have to commit a man or two forward and go short on those.
Okay, nice ball in as far as the corner forward, Peter Power there. Power though, and the defender, Mr. Shane Kingston, in a bit of a tussle, but CBC managing to do very well there to clear their lines, aiming towards Niall Hartnett. The big hand by Hartnett coming out, breaking it down as far as Owen O'Leary. Came on as a substitute, was in the starting programme, but has been introduced since. Flannans going right across the field in front of us, and the ball well taken by goal scorer Diarmuid Cahill. Nice play by Cahill out as far as Cillian O'Connor, that is. Still Cillian O'Connor knocks past two players, gets the shot off and gets the score. Class from Corfin.
Yeah, and as I said, the teammates linking up again from that minor final of last year, and great ball across the field from Conor Hegarty. Opened the play completely up like a great ball in soccer, if you know what I mean. He just, all the play was at the open side. He just switched the play completely. Cahill got onto it, fell, managed to get the pass out to Cillian O'Connor and cut inside, and this time the radar was in, as the fella says, and he nails a great score. He's fourth from play, and he's had a hand in a few scores, to be fair.
Powerful clearance done by Owen Downey, the man from Glen Rovers. Hartnett again the intended target, but I think Flannans are well aware of the danger that he's posing, and they're trying to surround him with as many people as possible when the ball is in his orbit. The ball is now in the orbit of Conor Hegarty. Hegarty pumping it down as far as Cillian O'Connor, but CBC back in numbers. Carrock Daly chasing after it. Daly 45 yards out. Still Carrock Daly. He's got runners to his right. Dennis McSweeney was one of those. Jack Cahalane is on his shoulder as well. There's a man screaming for it. That man that has it is the wing back there, Garrod Mulcahy. Mulcahy going short. It's with the corner forward there, Robbie Cotter. Still Cotter. Held up. Cotter 21 yards out. Flips it high up into the air. Bodies are funneling back under it. One of those is McSweeney. Great catch by McSweeney. Shot off the crossbar. Still there in the danger area. Won't be cleared out, will it? It is, and it's Cian Galvin that's doing so. But what a shot from Cian Galvin. Had the keeper beaten, all ends up off the crossbar, and Flannan's working it all the way back down to Diarmuid Cahill at the far end of the field. Cahill, the man that scored the goal in the opening half, loses possession, taken up there by CBC, and brought down to the ground is the cornerback Gavin Reddy, and that's going to be a free in. What a shot though from McSweeney out of nothing.
Yeah, high drama, and Trez O'Callaghan rightly had spotted that McSweeney was loose, and in fairness to Robbie Cotter, to be able to get the ball the width of the field into the wind across to him, caught it, went for the goal, stood up, Cian Broderick in the goal, and stood up to it well, got his hurley to it, bounced around the square, somehow got over it and got it out, I think, to Oisin O'Donnell, who cleared the lines, and it results eventually in CBC winning a free in and chance to cut it back to 4. I presume they'll go for the point.
Yeah, flip back off the crossbar, bobbled around the ground, and here we are. The end result anyway is Jack Cahalane standing over this free, just over 65 yards out. Another substitute coming on there in front of us, number 27, Dennis McSweeney, who almost scored the goal a few moments ago.
He's a huge loss, Colum, with probably the 8 minutes plus maybe 2 or 3 injury time coming off, because he's had a magnificent second half, to be fair to him.
David
really
Cremin
showed his standard county minor.
David Cremin is the man that's coming on substitute as well too. I think for Flannans being wound up as well there. Jack Allan doing the needful, by the way, as we're talking. Substitute on the Flannans team, and that's number 13, Peter Power, being replaced by the man wearing number 24, Dylan Cunningham of Clooney Quinn.
Yeah, Dylan Cunningham, another young forward. Peter Power puts in his ferocious shift every day. Got his point early on to settle the nerves. He has a tough job up there on his own a lot of the time. A la Shane O'Donnell back in the day, but does it willingly and manfully.
113 to St. Flannans, 12 points to CBC. 23 and a half minutes elapsed in this Dr. Harty Cup final, with thanks, by the way, to the Munster Council for making this live stream possible this afternoon. Again, apologies about some technical issues in the first half. Again, the issues beyond our control, and hopefully all resolved now. James Doherty is the man from Clarecastle that came on as a substitute, and James Doherty on this occasion driving it wide. There was a Clarecastle man next to me willing that one over the bar, doing his very best.
Yeah, well, he'd be disappointed. Fantastic work by Cillian O'Connor again, winning the dirty ball, cutting through the middle, popped off to James Doherty, and maybe snatched at that one a little bit. Should have taken it on a step or two.
Just confirmation of the attendance here, just under 3,000 here this afternoon. Dalo, you were talking about some Alliance League games today.
And you can imagine maybe if it was yesterday and we weren't going up against the Alliance League games and we had lovely spring conditions as we'd hoped for this time of the year, you could maybe add on a couple of 1,500 or so to that, Colin, because certainly, a great crowd, everyone really enjoying the fair from Mellow here.
An injury there to Cillian O'Connor. He's receiving the magic bottle and the sponge, and he's back on his feet, and it's going to be a free to St. Flannans, and it's going to be a free to Cian Galvin. Has had a run of misses in the last 2 or 3, struggling with range and accuracy. Let's see how he's going to fare on this occasion. Well, Anthony Daly said he's a man that puts the misses behind him very quickly. Proved you right there.
Yeah, I look at I'd have been lucky enough to this year's my first year involved with Cian, but I'd have coached these 2 older brothers, and confidence would never be a problem. They'd stay at it.
It's a Clare Castle thing.
It used to be, Colm. Hopefully it can come back to me.
Back in action with St. Flannans and with another Clare Castle man, as we said, Cian Galvin. Galvin opting to go back as far as his wing back there. Nice little offload from the wing back Stephen Casey to the man wearing number 15, and that was Oisin O'Donnell. Wonderful interplay.
Yeah, and a couple of great scores from Oisin O'Donnell in this second half, and that looks as if maybe it is enough of a gap. You'll be hoping, and Bardek Flannans concede a goal from their point of view. Great work again from Stephen Casey. Can't say how good he has been as a natural centre back, even though he's wearing 7 today. Man marking Harty, and has done a brilliant job, as well as contributing so much from an attacking point of view from Flannans.
Yes, we're coming up of the final 5 minutes of the action here in this Harty Cup final. It's currently CBC 12 points, St. Flannans 1 goal and 15. Another substitute coming on for the Flannans team. The man wearing number 10, Ashley Browan, making way, and it's Darren Nagel of St. Joseph's Dura Bearfield is the man that's coming in. We were talking about the all-Clare aspect of this team. When you were playing, Dale, was there many non-Clare natives?
There was those 5 Limerick minors on the team that I played with, and a tip minor who was the captain, Justin Quinlan. So, but the rest, you had 9 Clare lads, I suppose. That was probably the form. I think uniquely in '79 there was an all-Clare team with borders there. But more uniquely about this team, Colm, is meeting Tulla in the quarter-final. You'll be looking at the Tulla club players. An awful lot of them would be lads that traditionally would have come into Flannans.
Yes,
Clooney Quinn lads, even Dura Bearfield lads, and even some Tulla lads. I mean, they don't get lads really from 6 Mile Bridge anymore. Like, and we've always got those lads in the past, even Shannon lads, so that's the huge achievement about this team, I think, and what an extended panel they have as well. And it's great credit due to these guys who took them from first year right up along.
Request there for no one to go out onto the field afterwards, because there is another game coming on. We'll get back to that with Cork Daly. Oh, beautiful skill by Cork Daly. Punches it twice, shot by him. Oh, trickles right across the front of the goal. Still kept in play though by Robbie Cotter. Cotter with the shot, and it's gone out. The ball had gone wide. Cork Daly. Yeah. 2 incredible pieces of skill there from him. The flick over, the shot across, rolling right across the front of the goal.
Yeah, and I would have said we haven't seen him at his very best today. I heard an awful lot about him. Obviously, his brother, a great player, the Wafford man from Lismore, but really showed his class there, right through the middle, slightly mishit the shot, and Niall Hartnett seemed to be on the end of it for just a little tap-in goal, and just maybe took his eye off it, or it bobbled, and it got away from him and went out wide, and a huge let off for St. Flannans.
Oisin O'Donnell after making way, and it's Ryan Powers, the man that's after coming on for St. Flannans, who are just after registering a wide on that occasion, as we're ticking into 28 and a half minutes of this Dr. Harty Cup final. 6 points between the sides, but CBC, to their credit, still battling desperately to try and save their chances in this competition. They will still be in the All-Ireland series. The 2 teams will be progressing from this afternoon, but only one will be progressing as champions of Munster. I mentioned there another game on here this afternoon, ladies football. The Lidl National Football League Division 1 clash of Clare and Mayo, or Cork, and Mayo, taking place here this afternoon, was due to start at 2 o'clock, but I think it's been pushed back to 3 o'clock this afternoon because of today's final. So the pitch here and the ground staff in Mallow under pressure, but they've done a wonderful job in getting us through, given all the rain over the last 2 weeks. 3 minutes of additional time being waved on, and Jack Cahalane is the man that's on the ball. Can this man magic something in the remaining few minutes of this Harty Cup final? Opts to go short. Was looking for Cork Daly. Daly wasn't on the same radar, forced to go back. There's Daly, sells a dummy one way. Still Daly, 21, 14 yards. Tries to get it in, but it's taken by the other centre back, Cian Galvin, blocking up in front of his goalkeeper. Good play by the centre back. It's the substitute that's just on a few moments ago, Rowan Power, losing the ball. CBC desperately trying to get something here in the last few moments, and they have to go for goal now as the clock hits 30 minutes and 3 minutes of additional time to play. Apart from the goalkeeper, there's only one other CBC man in the half ball. Oh, brilliant stop there on the line. Hits into the chest of Dara Healy. I'm not sure who got the shot off, but Healy was perfectly positioned, taking the blow into the chest and clearing it out over the line right on the sideline.
Yeah, good move by Cian Broderick to call him back into the goal with him. I don't know who got the touch, maybe Harty. He's the big guy in there obviously, but dropped in looking for the goal, and somebody got a clean flick on it, and Dara happened to be in the right place at the right time, and a crucial block. Okay. Maybe they have enough, but at the same time, if a goal goes in now, you have a nervy, whatever is played on, so vital they don't concede a goal. Points are okay at this stage.
Okay, the referee, that free that was played in there, obviously there was some infringement or something. Referee deeming that the free had to be taken again, and this time it's gone out as a sideline. And here we go again. Obviously this is going to be dropped in to the danger area. The Flannans fans starting to sing already, with 2 minutes remaining in this Munster Post-Primary Schools Harty Cup final. There's a man down on the ground. Is he perhaps tying a lace or something more? But yeah. Some laughter here at the reminder not to go out onto the field at full time. I don't think that's going to be an issue here this afternoon.
I'd say they don't have enough officials somehow to keep the crowd off the field after this.
Opting to go short instead of dropping it in, and bodies flooding, trying to get that ball on the ground or off the ground, depending on your stance or your colours. Blocked down, and it's Rowan Power again. Ryan Power from Rowan loses it. CBC is trying to funnel it through still. Cork Daly is the man that's being pulled back, and it's going to be a free end. And one wonders, will Jack Cahalane be entrusted with a blaster from 21 yards?
He'll have to, and in fairness to Daly, since he has kind of gone up the field, now Flannans have near a player at all outside their 21. You'd imagine you could keep one guy up right, just in case to break out, but you are kind of inviting him onto you now. Look, at maybe 6 points is enough. Conor Haggerty gets a yellow for pulling back Cork Daly, and I think maybe Cahalane is definitely, he has to have a go for goal at this stage.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Flannans men. Well, there's a couple of them now after departing the scene. We're back to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here comes Jack Cahalane. Somehow manages to be stopped with the legs there, and it's going to be a free out. And interesting to see one of the key men that was there, and I think the man that got the touch in the end to stop it was Cillian O'Connor.
Yeah, I'm not certain, but he was back there on the line anyway. He's a ball of energy, isn't he? Full forward, goal line. Hard to tell actually who saved it now. We'd see it maybe closer up later on, but it looks to be enough for Flannans at this stage, and title number 22 on the way back to the famed nursery in Ennis.
Cian Galvin with a massive relieving clearance there, putting CBC back on the back foot. Oh, great piece of handling there by Shane Kingston to pull that one down and hold off the tackle from Cillian O'Connor. Has been awarded the free. Must be nearly the last action. Big ball by James Dwyer down. Jack Cahalane is chasing after it and get to grips with it. Has he managed to get it being held back, trying to get the ball off? Referee awarding a free in. There's a Flannans man down on the ground. The Flannans supporters rushing to the far side of the field. And the question is, will they follow the protocol of staying off the pitch. Things getting a bit ugly now. A few skirmishes developing off in front of the goal mouth there, and you'd wonder really with the time now at 34 minutes would referee John O'Halloran be as well to just blow this one. Imagine being that poor steward on the far side of the field there, entrusted with keeping that crowd back. I think he's on the walkie-talkie calling for reinforcements.
We're going to need a bigger boat, I think, Colin. I like Flannans youngsters have gone a generation without seeing the Harty Cup being lifted, so any of those invading the field, we're lucky to be in preschool. The last time Flannans were winning this, and a lot of them weren't. Even the players are only around that age group now, so they've waited a long time, and they'll be delighted. There's something absolutely dramatic goes wrong near the end. I think it's Conor Hegarty, joint captain, that's down injured. I think I'm trying to see, is he in the goal? I don't think he is, and I think it might be a green helmet that's down. So they'll be anxious, of course. The winners of this come up against St. Kieran's College next week, so you'll need everybody for that. You won't need too much celebrating either tonight.
Yeah, but the look there from the sideline and from the mentors is that whoever it is won't be returning to the field of play, and is being gingerly helped up. Well spotted there, Dalo. I think God bless the eyesight. Looks to be Conor all right, and it looks to be in some discomfort. Back with the play, it's Jack Cahalane standing over the ball. He's going to lop it in towards the square. And it's a whole host of bodies there. One of those trying to get it up is the corner forward. I can't get to it, and it's a bit of a scrum there. Will there be a shot trying to get off there? No. Penalty.
Penalty this time, Colin, yeah.
So, a bit of drama there at the end. It's 12 points to CBC. Flannans 1 goal and 15. Even if this is converted.
Daly was dragged. Like he's certainly since he went up the field and kind of abandoned the centre back role.
Very much so.
They don't seem to be able to stop him unless they pull him down. And again, like he's won another free this time. This time being a penalty now. So we have Jack Cahalane and Cian Broderick going eye to eye. Will it be the last action, or will the puck out be allowed? You never know.
Here comes Jack with the effort and strikes it through, strikes it low. No chance for the goalkeeper, Cian Broderick, on that occasion, and has brought it back to a 3-point game.
I think the referee is not coming out the field column, so I think Flannans win back the Harty Cup.
Has called for the match ball, and St. Flannans College of Ennis have been crowned Harty Cup champions for the 22nd time in their history. Their last title all of 15 years ago. The calls for the fans to stay off the pitch, well, fallen on deaf ears, and who would blame them?
Not a hope, sir. That's part and parcel of the Harty, is the pitch invasion afterwards, and just see Conor Hegarty seems to be, while there's massive celebrations down around the goal, Conor, who's joint captain, seems to have taken a nice little knock, so just hope he's okay. Joint captain had a great game as well today. They were the better side overall. I think, they took their chances. I suppose the 4-point lead was very significant, Colum, at half time. We knew it wasn't a game defining lead, but they certainly, they held it at that, despite the great start CBC gave it the start of the second half. Once they pushed it back out to 4, you always felt. Now, they did invite CBC on again at the end, and the final score will show, a one goal victory, but probably a bit more value for that. And fantastic display by Cillian O'Connor. I think going forward will be probably my man of the match on the day. To really shone out from start to finish when they were into the win in the first half, and finished very strongly as well as getting 4 for play. I think he was fouled 2 or 3 times and set up on the very first score of the game for Peter Power, and all through was a huge influence on proceedings.
But great interplay, I must say, in this a real team effort for St. Flannans.
Yeah, and that has been the style, and it has been criticised at times, Colum, and you saw at the end of the game, no one up the field, no real outball. I'd be critical of that, but at the end of the day, the goal, which ultimately separates the teams, I suppose, at the end, the goal alone was a thing of beauty of interplay and what they work on, and Brendan's obviously a big believer. It's a lot of the way Davy Fitz sets up his teams, and they do that, and we saw the point from Cian Galvin in the second half as well, which was similar, that little link ball, not like football, but taking the best aspects of football and adding super strikes at the end of it. And great to see all the CBC fans. They'd be very used to this from rugby, obviously, used to cheering on their men, and they've got behind their team today as well, and nice to see them out in the field as well. And
You know, it was played in a great spirit, I have to say, and John O'Halloran had a very, very good game.
Okay, well, we've mentioned some of the Flannans players there. Killian O'Connor, King Galvin we have to mention as well.
Yeah, like Gal would be kind of a marked man in lots of ways, but you know, yeah, he's a great bit of stuff. We're very lucky that he's a club man of ours, Colum, and you know, himself and Dara Healy, you know, they're great lads and very grounded as well. You know, they'll always turn up for club under 21 training, and you know, they're just great lads. And in fairness, I think this Flannans team in general, you know, that minor final last year, Rowan, Corofin beat Clarecastle in that final. There's so many of them involved there. You know, you see O'Donnell and O'Connor, Ashley Broha and all, you know, so they'd be great pals as well as, you know, rivals at club level. So that's what the Harty Cup is all about, indeed. On from that into the Freshers All-Ireland and the Fitzgibbon Cup, Sigerson Cup, that kind of thing. That's the beauty of these competitions. You get to play with lads that you'll probably wind up fighting with for the rest of your life. Barry, you're on the Clare team with them or something.
I see one of your old comrades there, James E. O'Connor, and like you look at someone like James E., a man that, like yourself, won 2 All-Ireland medals in 1995 and 1997, but the look of joy on his face today just shows you how important something like this is.
Yeah, and like, see, James is in as a teacher in Flannans, and I don't know, I want to speculate what year, but he's there quite a while at this stage. He certainly wouldn't be there. Like Brendan is there probably 4 or 5 years, Brendan Bugler, and obviously James, he has seen so many bad days and disappointments when it was questioned whether Flannans might even go back B, you know, which was, you know, to traditionalists, but they were shipping heavy beatings, you know, from the Ardskull Reaches, the Thurles, the Temple Moors of this world, and you know, but these guys, you know, 5 years ago they brought him to a Harty final as first years off, took him off on a bus. They're not all still there, obviously, but a lot of them are, and look, their reward is been, you know, here today, lifting 22nd Harty Cup, and it means so much to Jamesy and all the tradition that's handed down from in our time. There's so many priests there, and they were brilliant. They were great guys to, you know, to encourage you. And I learned so much personally and all. I know my own age group, Pat Healy, Dara's father, would have played, and we would have won 5 championships together with the club, you know. So we owe an awful lot to Flannans, the clubs around it, and it's a fantastic nursery, and it's great to see them back on top for the first time in 15 years.
Okay. Well, give a few words there about CBC. Jack Cahalane obviously was the man that kept them in it for so long. And then there was that spell at the start of the second half for 10 minutes when they started to reel Flannans in, and for a few moments it looked like they were going to get a foothold of this final.
Oh, absolutely, and I said it at half-time, Colm, that I certainly felt this was not over at half-time, and you know, within 4 minutes of the second half, 4 points was reeled back to a point, and huge credit to them with the way they battled. Very hard to take losing 2 Harty Cup finals in a row, but you know, I did wonder a little bit with only 4 survivors from last year, because you would say, you know, you'd like to be having the 7 or 8 guys to have that strength, and obviously came very, very close to winning it last year against Middleton. But look, some fantastic players, some great prospects for Cork going forward. None more so, as you mentioned, Cahalane. I really like Dara Burke, I have to say. Worked so hard. Daly's obviously a Waterford man, but he showed us what he's capable of near the end. Shane Kingston at full back, likewise. Very, very solid in there. So, you know, James Dwyer midfield, they'll be very proud of their lads this evening. It's hard to take getting to but they're still in the All-Ireland, remember, and that's what they'll be looking at. And maybe in one way they have a nicer draw for next week than Flannans have, and they'll just have to pick themselves up and get back on the horse again. Recovery, I suppose, tomorrow, and get back training on Tuesday, because they have a massive one, as you said, next weekend, as Flannans and Kieran's in my time was the traditional one in the All-Ireland colleges, and it hasn't happened in so long, so the Kilkenny boys will be relishing that as well.
Okay, well, the presentation just about to get underway here at the front of the stand. So as Dalo pointed out, St. Flannans, their prize for winning the Harty Cup is a Dr. Cup All-Ireland quarter-final meeting with St. Kieran's College, which will be played next weekend, while CBC will be playing Prez of Athenry next weekend. It is a 22nd title for St. Flannans. The wait continues though for CBC for that first title, but CBC aren't giving up on titles just yet, as the school are in the Munster Schools Senior Cup rugby final in about 2 weeks' time against their old rivals of PBC, and CBC defeated Rockwell during the week 22-10, and PBC defeated Munchins 33-10, so that's going to take precedence, I'd say, in the school in the coming days and weeks.
I won't be volunteering for commentary on that one, Colm. I leave it to one of our experts on the oval ball.
Right, that's where we're going to have to leave it from Mallow this afternoon, as the Flannans crowd here in front of us streaming out in delight. The CBC crowd behind them, to their credit, staying on as well too for the presentation. That is it from our broadcast this afternoon. Our thanks to the Munster Council for facilitating us here in Mallow. Our thanks to Anthony Daly on co-commentary, to Raf and Jack who are on the technical side of things, and to thank you as well too for watching at home. So that's where we're going to leave it this afternoon, as St. Flannan's College of Ennis, one of the powerhouses of the Dr. Harty Cup, have ended what they'd consider a famine. 15 years reclaiming the trophy and pushing them further up top of the roll of honour with 22 Munster titles. That's it from all of us here. Thank you indeed for watching, and hopefully we'll have your company again soon.